All right, Shalom. First and foremost, of all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the others of great millstone. Peace and salutations to the Akim, to the elect that are scattered across the four corners of this earth, presenting his truth and faith and our sincerity. I'm the bro Shema Allah from the GMS Houston camp. And this lesson is going to be entitled, basically, don't be mediocre, right? Which, when you go into the word mediocre, it basically goes into being, you just basically do the bare minimum. Like, yeah, you average, right? Even in some cases below average, right? You just do what needs to be required, right? Or you do, whatever it is that you're into, like whatever type of field or professional, or, we talk about the truth when we're dealing with the truth. But let's just say anything like basketball or football or anything like that. You ain't really putting in the extra effort, to really grow and to, test your limits and to upgrade, right? You basically being mediocre, you being complacent. Really, that's really what it is. Right? You're being comfortable in the position that you're in, right? And that's a bad place to be, right? Because something that is not growing, right, is basically what dead, right? If you got a plant, right, and you're trying to water it and you're doing this and that to it, everything you're trying to take care of it or whatnot, it ain't growing, right? And you're gonna stop, putting effort into it, right? Some it's just not working out, right? And also the scripture refers to us as, as being trees and being rooted and grounded in Yahweh Shai, right? So if the Lord sees us as his servants and we ain't growing, what do you think gonna happen? Right? Yahweh Shai, he said, hey, that I'm gonna be about my father's business. Now, a business cannot stay the same. A business has to keep growing, keep doing things, to elevate, right? Finding new ways to do things, new ideas, whatnot. Man, I can go into a lot of things, in your own personal life to keep bettering yourself and to keep, upgrading and to basically be on fire. So let's start here in Revelation 3:15, right? It says, I know that works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot. Now somebody that is cold, that's basically somebody that just they in this truth, but they in the world basically. Right? They just ain't doing nothing. They not tending to, spiritual things. They're not studying. They're not reading. Right? They basically don't give a damn. Whatever in the world got their attention, and that's what they focus on. Right? This truth is the least of their words. You see, that's somebody that's cold. You see, it says, and it spoke about somebody that's hot. Basically, you're on fire for this, right? And being on fire is not just going and just doing videos. It's much more than that, right? It's being on fire in your day-to-day life, right? Whatever you got going on, you see, and because this truth is not just about, which is a major part, going on the highways and the byways, right? Because anyone can go out and teach, anyone can say, go and break down scriptures, right? But it goes into applying these things each and every day, right? And being on point and being in the spirit, right? That's for being on fire, right? See, paying attention. See, constantly, reading and going over things, trying to get better, right? Doing the most that you can to your capability, to your limit. It's like when Yahweh Shai said he gave servants talents according to their several ability. You basically maximize that, man. Right? According to the ability that the Most High have given you, and your ability and your diligence and your fire is not going to be the same as anybody else. Right? So you shouldn't compare your fire to anybody else, but other men in this truth should motivate you, right? But you shouldn't try to mirror, their exact works, because we all have different lots. But it says, So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Now, a person that's lukewarm is somebody that's just, it's in between. Right? You ain't hot, you ain't cold, you just on the fence. Right? You just average. Basically, that's what it is. You just, is what it is, like you just here. Right? You might do a couple videos, right? Because, right? Somebody, somebody might be watching you. Right? I gotta do at least 3 videos, 4 videos, something like that a week. Right? Just says, this let me do these. Right? You're not really fully persuaded in your own mind. You're doing it because it's meant. Right? And you gotta be in this thing, for you, for yourself. We all gotta be in this thing for ourselves. Even though we're a whole body, we're brothers, we are here to support each other. Yes. But you gotta put in that effort on your own. Right? This is let me see. Philippians 2:12, wherefore for my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not in my presence only, but not much more in my absence. So not just when you around brothers, you got that fiery spirit on you. And mind you, we're not gonna be in the spirit all the time, right? But most of the time, right, you should be on fire for this thing. You should always be thinking about it. You're always thinking about the kingdom, right? Always examining yourself. That's going to be on fire to examine yourself and noticing the problems and the issues that you got and work on them to better yourself, right? I won't necessarily say increase your chances, but the scripture say to be diligent, which I got that lined up, to make it call in the election sure. Right. So we don't know, but hey, we gotta put that work in, man. You see, to basically, I'm gonna get the scriptures. Let me finish this. Philippians 2:12, for my beloved, as ye have obeyed, not as in my presence only, but not much more in my absence. Work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. So, hey man, this is to get our own crowns and our own salvation at the end of the day, right? My work will not fall on someone else's. Anyone else's work and hard work and labor and studying won't get me on a chair to be delivered, won't get me in the kingdom. The Lord has to be pleased with me and my works, right? All of us, and be pleased with what we have done in this planet earth, right? Towards his name and in his truth and in this ministry. Like, we're really about this thing, or we're just playing, or we're just bullshit. Right? But these things, like I say, you gotta be fully persuaded. Right? You gotta want it for you. Right? Because people can tell you, yeah, you gotta read, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you can go through the history, right? This and that. But you gotta take that action. You gotta be convinced. Right? And when you do these things, and when you're on fire, you gotta strive to be consistent, not wishy-washy, blowing with the wind. Right? But you see, Second Peter 1:10. It's not Second Peter. 2 Peter 1:10. Wherefore, the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if you do these things, you shall never fall. So give diligence to make your calling and election sure. A person who's possibly of the elect, because we say that we are the hopeful elect, that should show it works, right? It should show in faith, right? That fire and that zeal should be able to be seen on you, that you actually care, right? Actually, putting forth an effort each and every day, not being the bare minimum, not just trying to be average, right? Because we all have particular gifts that have been given us. We all have particular roles, right? We have particular roles during an account, right? That you're supposed to be doing, right? Whatever it may be, man. You just take it to the next level, All right, do it on, just be on point, basically. All right, whatever your position is, whatever has been given unto you to handle, right? All of that, man, just do it to the best of your ability, right? When you doing like whatever videos and this and that, man, take time to actually put. I mean, a lot of brothers go through the spirit on their videos. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but brothers be studying. Right? You got to be studying. You see, you actually put the time in and study, research words, going to the Hebrew, going to the Greek, right? Because we can't be average, man. Right? Because if we are the elect, we're not average men. Right? We are returning back, right, to that to a godlike state. Well, through this knowledge first. You see. But yeah, man, it says, wherefore the rather brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. But if you do these things, you shall never fail. Right? Paul gave a list of things to do. Right? You read up, you see that the elect basically will be doing. And what is said in the book of Colossians. Colossians 3:12, it says, put on therefore as the elect of the Most High, holy and beloved, vows of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. So basically, the characteristics of the elect is written within the scriptures. So we know what the elect is supposed to be doing, and we're supposed to see these things and apply to our life. All right? And be on fire and consistent. Like I said, continually upgrading, continually growing, because each and every day is something to learn in this truth. You don't know everything. Every time you read, you're gonna learn something new. Every time you go over notes, every time you watch a video, all right? We have different spirits. Right? Even when you go into the scriptures, different prophets and prophecies they receive, you see the Lord reveal different things to different men. Right? Some men have bigger books than others, some men have shorter. Right? But the point is that we all have different spirits and the Lord deals with us differently. So we all got something to bring, right? Our point of view, right, through the spirit, right? And we're supposed to share that. We all can learn from each other. Right? So it's always room for improvement. Right? And that leads me to 1 Corinthians 9. I like bringing this up. 1 Corinthians 9, dealing with, the athletes and the people of this world, right? Successful people of this world. You see, which the success in Israel, it's not nothing to us. Right? But the things that they do is a model and an example for things that we could take and apply, right, to this truth. You see on how disciplined they are, right? Self-control. You see, consistent. They put their all into it because that's where their treasure is, right? If this is where your treasure is, then you should be doing the same. But it's 1 Corinthians 9:24. Know ye not that they which run in the race run all, but one receive the prize. So run that you may obtain. So just like in a race or somebody's running track and this and that, man, if you see the type of workouts these people do, they put their all into it. They cannot be average. If you be average in any type of sports, you will not be great. Okay? You average does not receive greatness. There's no correlation in that. And you actually got to be on point. You see, you actually got to take it there, right? Constantly try to improve. See, do things that the average person won't do. Hey man, because it's many Israelites that are working up to this truth. All right, many Israelites, and there's many that's just the basic Israelite, man. They just wake up to this thing, and that's it. They just know they're Israelite, and they ain't doing nothing. All right, and then you have just let me keep reading. I'm gonna explain all of that. I don't want to jump the gun. It says that every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things, and they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we incorruptible. You see, so we're striving to be great in this truth. We're striving to learn all these breakdowns, all right, to become more and more like Yahushua each and every day, basically measure up to what he was, follow his steps. All right, but it says temperate and all things. You gotta be self-controlled, and you gotta have some discipline. It says they do it to obtain a corruptible crown. So you see basketball players, football players, like I said, any type of sports, Olympics, this and that. And them people putting in work. It's like it's a documentary that I like watching, The Last Dance with Michael Jordan. Right? Bro, if you see that the mindset that he had, right, towards continually improving and growing, working on his game, right, working on certain areas that he was weak at, right, constantly being involved, right, having that basically that failure is not an option mentality, right, and when you do make mistakes and do fail, you learn from that. It should motivate you to keep going, to keep striving, right? And they do all these things. They eat right. They constantly working out, right? To be the best in that field. Now, us in this truth, we're supposed to be studying. We're supposed to be getting into this word a lot, right? Going all throughout the history, looking up things, looking up events, right? Like I said, looking up words. You see, because hey, just let me get this real quick. Because bro, we are up against um a lot of people, right? That, I'm not talking about your average Christians, your average, people that read the Bible, they know a couple scriptures, right? But you know, you got certain scholars of the world that they don't necessarily know the breakdowns, but they put they all into what they know. They put they all into these things to study. They spending all this money doing this and that, right? Researching. You see, they know the history pretty good, right? That same type of energy and effort is supposed to be shown with us, right? Because we got the truth and they don't. All right. But this is 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, working with that needeth, not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Okay. So getting into this word so you won't be ashamed. For the person that's ashamed is basically a person that ain't been putting in the time and the effort to study to look up things. All right. And now this person is not confident in himself because you haven't been putting in that work, right? Because the videos out. Apostles and brothers all over constantly putting out videos, right? So we can learn any time of the day, anytime we want, right? But like I said, we up against people that are not average in that crap, not average in the thing they believe in. So much you think that you will be able to battle with them spiritually in these scriptures if you just average, right? Or you just being a parrot. Nah, you gotta get into it. I remember the Apostle Tar said, like, way back then, man, this is our book, man. We supposed to know this book. Right? The people in the world, they can know the history and all that. But hey, man, we supposed to know this thing, like the breakdowns, everything. Like, because this is our history. This is our book, right? Like I said, you go to the people in these different religions. You got people that's giving it, that's putting it. They on fire for something that's not even the truth. So how much more us? All right, but this is Baruch 4:28. For as your mind and go straight from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. So we went astray. The Lord took this truth away from us, took away our heritage, and we was basically asleep for a period of time. Then the spirit of life entered into us, and you go into Revelation, the 11th chapter. Right? The Most High gave it back unto us, right? Through mercy because of Yahweh's sacrifice. All right, so he said we supposed to seek him 10 times more, but the Lord ain't had to wake us up. Right? He could have left us in the world. Right? So we're supposed to put forth, effort and try to grow each and every day, constantly, and examining ourselves. Right? You shouldn't be a person that, you never speak. You never want to speak. You never want to speak. Right? You don't want to read. Right? You don't want to do anything. You see, you probably able to teach class or something like that. You don't want to do that, right? Or somebody always got to constantly, pull your arm, pull your leg. Hey, hey, do a class. Teach. No, we supposed to want to do this. It got to be in you. Right? We're not here to just hang out with each other. That's a part of it, right? Yeah, we are brothers, but this work comes first. You see, it's like when if you playing for a team, a basketball team, all right, or a football team. If you ain't basically living up to what the coach um wants you to be, right? If you ain't out there giving it your all, you ain't making the cut. You gonna get cut. All right, you gotta constantly perform and be at your best. All right, like I said, you're gonna have bad days, right? And that's cool. That's normal. It's gonna happen, right? But the bad days shouldn't really overweigh the good. You see, it shouldn't. All right. But did I finish First Corinthians? All right, so we all gotta really be involved and like this message, it's not just to you or it's for me also. All right, be involved more, do more. You see, because it's we can always more can always be done somewhere. All right, can always be done. You see, um, First Corinthians 9:25, and every man that's striving for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we ain't incorruptible. Right, it's incorruptible. We doing this for the kingdom of heaven, at the kingdom to live forever for eternity, have new bodies, new covenant, right? All that we could wish for and more, much more. Just to teach this word, just to go out in the hallways and byways and apply this thing. Don't be a hypocrite each and every day. That is a pretty great return on our investment, right? Of course, we know we're gonna lose things, this and that, but nothing can be measured to the kingdom. Like that should be enough motivation right there. People in this world, like I said, the sports world, they're motivated by championship. They're motivated by rings. They're motivated by belts, right? Like boxing, right? And that's a tough sport in itself. And you gotta constantly, be on top of your game, right? What I'm saying is basically the things that these people are doing. We're supposed to be, you know, uh, we could take from it, right? Is what I'm saying. We could take from it and learn from it, right? And that same type of mentality and mindset could be, shown, towards this truth because this is our profession, right? What it says, yeah, that's really it. That's really the point. So I just let's edify. All right, hope this is without a confusion. Hope the message was clearly able, to be, understood. Just something through the spirit that I just wanted to do a lesson on. See, so whomever motivate whoever listening, all right, to do more. Should it motivated me, all right, because when we do lessons, man, you learn from your own lessons too. Because before this video go out, before you know others hear, we are hearing ourselves speak. And some things the spirit is feeding us that we didn't even know we was gonna go into. So, I'm learning just as in hearing this message just as much as you are. So yeah, that hey, shalom.